into week 5. We're at the halfway marker of our class together, and I just wanted to kind of debrief us a little bit on some of the really heavy subject matter that we've been looking at. And I think sometimes we kind of drink from the fire hose a little bit, and I think it's really good at this particular juncture to really just kind of step back and kind of catch our breath and to really kind of digest and allow things to kind of settle a little bit before we kind of go on into the latter part of our course. So we've really taken a really close look at man and what comprises man and his nature regarding sin and how the impact of the fall had on every component of man. And not only did the fall of Adam and Eve impact all the future generations of mankind, but it also impacted in the God's entire created order, that everything has been negatively impacted by sin. And we also took a really close look at sin and what it's comprised of. And not only is sin things that we do that is in direct disobedience to God, but it's also those what's called sins of omission, the things that we know that we should do but we fail to do. And we took a close look at that as well. And we had some really good discussion posts regarding how we are to deal with sin and how impactful that it is. And this past week we took a look at how God in His grace and His mercy and His love provided the only way imaginable that He could reconcile Himself, His holy self, His perfect, complete self with sinful mankind. So we had a bit of a contrast as far as we spent some time really closely looking at the depravity that man is immersed in, and we completely did a 180 and took a close look at the perfection that comprises God and looking at that attribute that He is holy, that He is just and merciful. So hopefully we looked at, and it gives us a better appreciation for what the gospel is, and hopefully we'll have a better understanding of the grace and being able to be more thankful for God doing that for us, because we were in and of ourselves completely helpless and hopeless in regards to having that reconciled relationship with Him. And I think that it's a good time as well as any to really take a look at false ideas of the gospel and how false teachings are developed and how people can be easily swayed into believing these false gospels. So I think it's important for us to have a really clear understanding of what the gospel truly is before we head into those territories as well. Because just like when you're trained to be a bank teller, your supervisor will not train you on looking at every possible counterfeit that there is in order to be able to detect them when you're looking through your drawer and checking those different bills. Rather, they train you to look and make sure that you are very clear in understanding what the authentic currency looks like, so that when a fake comes up, it's very easy to detect because you know exactly what the authentic one looks like, what it feels like. And it's very similar to understanding the gospel and what comprises a fake gospel. If you're very familiar what comprises the authentic gospel, you will have no trouble at all detecting the fake one. So looking forward to our discussion forums this week, looking forward to reading what you have to say regarding these false teachings and false gospels and how they compare and contrast with the genuine, authentic one. I also wanted to let you know that I was very impressed with the trajectory that we're going with the summaries at the end of the week. I know it's something very different. I know that's something that is a challenge, and that's intended to be so, but I'm just so thankful to see the progressive improvements that I've seen, how you're narrowing the topics down, how you're shortening those up. And I think it's a really good lesson for us to really understand and really go over and mull that over in our minds of what it is exactly that we're learning. So great job on that, and I look forward to seeing you in the discussion forum this week.